I grew up in a fire and brimstone Pentecostal preacher for a father, and my mom was a silent partner. So he preached fire and brimstone from the pulpit, but at home he had fits of rage and fits of infidelity, and home was just very chaotic and dysfunctional. And so I remember from a very early age saying, if that's being a Christian, I don't want any part of it. So that set the stage for me for years of dysfunction. I did get married in my 20s to a very awesome man, and I slid through life quite uneventful for a while. But in my early 20s, I was prescribed pain pills, and that became a on and off roller coaster for a lot of years. And looking back, the addiction was the pills. They were just a Band-Aid to what was really going on in my soul. In 2007, we were planning our 20th wedding anniversary trip, and instead of a trip to Hawaii, I planned a funeral because he died 3 weeks after being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And because of the unhealed trauma, the chaos, the addiction to pain pills, that just set the stage for a deep nosedive into the pit. I got my first DUI when I was 50 years old. And mind you, I grew up in an environment where shame and ridicule were the weapons that were used against me. So I hated God, I hated religion, and I hated me. I was an unhealed person, and I was just stuck in this confusion and chaos and had no idea how to get out of it. The grief, the unhealed trauma, the addiction, and that combination just about took my life. I ended up going to jail because once I started getting the DUIs when I was 50 years old, I just kept getting them back to back to back. I had no idea how to get out of this chaos. I had no idea how to get out of this dysfunction. So God knew what I needed, what I needed exactly when I needed it. I call it an incarceration intervention. That was the method that God used to stop the madness, because I was convinced I could never get off those pills. I was convinced that I needed them to survive. But I have learned now there is no chemical solution to a spiritual problem. My soul was wounded and my heart needed healing, and only God could do that for me. In 2017, when I got out of jail, Family Worship Center was the first place I came. I had over 2 years of not using opiates, which gave my brain a chance to heal, and I had access to counseling and Bible studies, and I learned about addiction, and I gathered tools for my toolbox that I would need later down the road. But when I came out of jail in 2017 and came to Family Worship Center, I had no idea what I was going to do with my life, what it was going to look like for me. I thought it was over. I was in my late 50s, and I had this long reputation and trail of chaos and ruin behind me, and I had no idea what I was going to do with all of it. So I look back now and I can say that jail allowed my brain to heal, but this church allowed my heart to heal. And it was in this church that I've just walked out that healing process. It's through God's word and God's people and this ark of safety in this church here. That is the reason that I can sit here today and tell you I once was lost and now I'm found.